It is Saturday night already again. I cannot believe it's already the weekend. And Easter, even. Like, where did the time go? But we are back at the Echoes Chamber. Let me transition here. There we go. And tonight at the Echoes Chamber, we have got our own little bad little bunny special going on, even though that's not what we're calling the event, but hey, that's what I'm gonna call it. We are doing our Easter treasure hunt, not an Easter egg hunt, but an Easter treasure hunt instead, where we're gonna be having a special event taking place at 10:30 tonight Eastern time. Where we're gonna have everybody do a scavenger hunt. There's gonna be Gil prizes to be won. I think there's a million, I almost said $1 million, million Gil prize that will take place for the person that either finds everything or gets the grand prize there. Takeshi's going to be talking about the details prior to that happening. So make sure you're in the venue so you can be here when he gives out all the rules and the guidance as far as what we'll be doing for the treasure hunt. But until then, make sure you get plenty of drinks at the bar, enjoy the music, and we're going to jam the night away. Wait, what is it you need to know? Tell me. No, we actually do not have Drake with us tonight. I'm trying to remember what he said he's got to do. He's got something else going on, and I don't remember what it was. But no, he's not here. That happens right at the end of the music. That was timing. I saw you, Coit. You ran right past the camera. You say it could have been anyone, but how many people are gonna run right up to me, throw a bunch of petals and flowers at me, and then run away, wearing all black, mind you? The only other person I could think of might be Selene. Speaking of the damn devil, I got you, Craig. I got you. Mm. Actually, I got one even better. I got my orange vanilla Coke Zero from Subway I had earlier today. Oh no, what happened this morning, Drake? Tell me about it. Oh, that's right. Today was the results day. Look, Drake, if it comes as any consolation or if it makes you feel any better, I lost out on the house that I was betting on too. 7 tickets. I was number seven. Number five won. At least it was not the bug going around where ticket zero wins the bid and nobody gets the house. At least somebody got it. I did not mean to like drag my volume bar like I just did. Oops. So Koi, that's kind of like yes and no. The majority of wards that are available, especially if we're talking about the Imperium, uh, 3/4 of the wards are for free companies specifically. So if a free company didn't go and bid on a number of houses in those wards, then nobody bid on them at all. And free companies are usually going to be aiming for at least mediums or large. So all those smalls in those FC only wards are completely barren. But all the private housing wards, which is like the last six numbers in the wards, which is like what, 22 or 20 through 25 or something like that. Those are private estate wards. So everybody was scrambling to grab those houses in those last six wards that were available. Role players, no, Tia got the zero. Oh, I feel so bad. All right, Drake, thank you for popping in. By the way, Koi, I saw you playing Tunic. What was it, last night, I think it was? I actually kind of snuck in and watched you play that game for a little bit. Yeah, I noticed that because when I popped in, it never increased the counter. It just stuck on one the entire time. But you're the second person I've seen play that game. It actually looks pretty fun, actually. As much and often as I used to play Tomb Raider all the time, just for like the puzzles and the problem solving, that would definitely be right up my alley for sure. Thursday Entertainment. Did you have a different name before? Okay, I asked because like I recognize the handle. I know that name, or I know I've seen it at least sometime before. So I wasn't sure if you were like somebody else, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. But otherwise, how you doing tonight? Hopefully good with it being Easter weekend for those of y'all who do or do not celebrate Easter. But hey, getting any time off that's available to you because of Easter, take advantage of it. Celebrate vibing. When life is a vibe and every single day is a vibe, that's when you know you're doing something right. Yes, sir, Koi. It is already snuck up on us. Easter is this Sunday. Tomorrow, even. Or technically for me, in just a couple of hours almost. So again, I want to let y'all know in about 1 hour, we're going to be doing our Easter treasure hunt. That Takeshi, our other manager here, is going to be leading off and giving everybody the details about. If you want to make sure you get a chance to win the 1 million gil prize that comes out of this treasure hunt, make sure to stick around or at least be here by or prior to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time to make sure you get a chance to win that grand prize. So I've come to discover with IdleCam that if I don't assign like a specific target for it to focus on, it's just gonna start going all over the house and focusing so much more on furniture than it does the actual people in the club. So the only way that I can like viably do IdleCam now is if I focus on one person. I hate it. I wish I could get it to just focus on people and people only, but there's no such setting for the camera. when idle cam basically does its own thing. Yeah, this is why I have to specify a target, because it's gonna start showcasing furniture here in a moment, and it's just gonna be WTF. What are we looking at? Yeah, like the cash register here, for example. And before I do a free endorsement for Subway with no sponsorship over here. Riker, hi. I saw you hiding over by the wall, by the way, in between when I was doing like my shout outs and like transitioning the idle cam. I'm doing good though. How about you? Needless to say, I saw you. I saw you. The cam is prejudiced against short people. Which is actually saying something because I've got the camera angled as far down as it will go, but at the same time, we're also talking about angling it down from a Hrothgar perspective, so, you know, there is that. Not gonna lie, this is kind of a bop. Hey Violet, welcome to the channel. This is where we have all of our music and our crazy discussions while everybody else is dancing. Well, I mean, quite between the crashing of the housing market, for one, with the new lottery system they just brought in. Uh, oh, I was just talking about something else they had going on. Oh, I was talking to a friend about all the glitches that they've been fixing in Horizon Forbidden West, because I've been absolutely obsessed with that game. We still are talking about data center visitation when they finally open up the other data centers to come to Primal or vice versa, and God knows how that's going to affect the roleplay community. And we're gonna drink the tea. Please submit your vibe report for appeal. The Drake returns. I could also share the tea about what my new medication has been doing to me and the violent, painful episode I had in the bathroom, but that might be TMI for the internet there. Just saying. Shout it out for the people in the back. Okay, so just to give like the too long didn't read TLDR version here. Um Basically I'm on a new medication that's supposed to help me digest whatever I eat properly. And as a little bit of background, like spicy food has never bothered me. Like it can be the spiciest five-alarm chili that has ever been made, and whenever it like finally processes and leaves my body, not a problem. None at all. Um Now that I'm on this new medicine, I swear it felt like somebody was taking a white hot iron to my tail end when I went to go passive movement today. We're talking about clutching the side of the restroom, crying streams of tears down my face, almost wailing in just cries in the restroom. It was not okay. It was a life altering experience and the most painful thing I've ever had occur to me while sitting on the throne. It was not okay and seriously making me second guess taking this medicine. It was not okay. Quait, as a correction to your statement, it was not just fire damage, it was Viagra. I just realized what that sounded like. On other news, the correct dance for this song is the lollipop. I am inclined to agree with you on that, actually. As a heads up, we are about 30 minutes out from the Easter treasure hunt that we're sponsoring tonight. Again, as a reminder, there is going to be a Gil prize of 1 million Gil for this treasure hunt. Signups is 50K Gil. Just speak with Takeshi, our other club manager that is in house tonight, to sign up for the event. He's got all the details, the rules, any procedures, guidelines you need to know about. He's your man to talk to. Be sure to register with him to do the treasure hunt tonight, which is basically a scavenger hunt, for a chance to win that 1 million Gil. See, Naka, I knew you had a Nakaja level. I couldn't even say it right. I'm gonna just decide on apple cinnamon or peach mango cider. Those sound like some safe options, to be quite honest. Why the sudden drop? I don't know if it was you or me, Drake. Let me take a look at my stream manager here. It was me. I had a drop in my connection. It should be fine now. What? Yerbs, I was literally just talking about you not too long ago. Dude, how was stream tonight? I know that you were playing Final Fantasy 14 and I actually wanted to watch so badly, but it's like I have a club to run tonight. I was not able to pop over. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Oh, thank you for the follow, KBC. Yes, if y'all haven't seen or heard about Yerba Mateo, you definitely need to check out his channel. Not only are you getting like quality content when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, but other various games as well. He is a joy and a pleasure to watch. The club is hype. Yeah, we got ourselves an Easter treasure hunt event going on tonight where anybody who signs up with a 50K Gil ticket has a chance to win 1 million Gil. So for anybody that's in Final Fantasy 14 and you've got the time and the chance to make it over to the Echoes Chamber, we've got our location right there, Famfrit, Shirogane, Ward 4, Plot 60. Come on in, talk to our club manager Takeshi. He'll get you signed up and you'll get a chance to win 1 million Gil. Drake, you're kind of one of the staff. I can't really say that's okay for you to win it. Thank you, Yerbs. Yeah, after I finally got some lights set up, I got my rave jacket on, and we've got all the shiny lights in the club. I'm pretty proud of what we set up here. No, no, no. I said staff can't win. That would not be okay for them to be signing up. That would be rigged. No. I'm basically telling Drake, no, that's not allowed. So much hype, we also have pizza rolls, maybe? Hey, Quait, I actually got some in the freezer. I can pop them in the microwave real quick. Not as good as when you stick them in the oven, though. You could just give me the guilt. No, Riker, that's not how this works. You gotta play the game. You gotta go to that. Well, I almost said Easter egg hunt. That treasure hunt to find. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's chocobo chicks that have been hidden throughout the entire house that you gotta go look and find. Takeshi's got all the rules and the steps and everything you gotta go through in order to win the prize. So definitely be sure to talk to him about what needs to be done. But I think it is chocobo chicks that are hidden throughout the house. Gotta go decompress from the stream, but I'll leave a lurk, homie. Have a great stream. Thank you, Yerba. I super appreciate it. Silver, aren't you the person that hid all the chocobo chicks? Wouldn't that be kind of counterintuitive? Look, Drake's already ready for that next Yerbathon. I think Yerb is still recovering from the previous Yerbathon. And I know some of y'all been talking about me doing one for that 1 year anniversary celebration we still have yet to have. I don't think I would survive. Y'all gotta remember, Naka works 2 jobs and does all of this with the free company, the roleplay club, the streaming. I would die. Probably quite literally. But this is also coming from the guy who did two 24-hour streams back to back when Endwalker came out. So, you never know. We got the party going so hard, I'm starting to sweat in here, y'all. It's getting warm. Yes, Silver. Me and the hubs. Let me turn the music down a bit here. So I'm drowning myself out. Me and the hubs were actually just doing main scenario both yesterday and today, and I absolutely love what they have done with it. It is so much faster. It is not mundane. It makes so much more sense the way that is laid out and the fights, how they progress now. And there's actual mechanics. There's no like cheesing your way through it. You actually have to fight stuff. Although, I'm curious as to what has happened to fighting La Habrea. And there was another fight that was missing too. Um, Crap, who was it? I don't remember. My brain just farted. But yeah, like is La Habrea now like a duty instance? Cause it's not a trial. There's no trial for it. Right. That's right, Drake. West Wind, Cape West Wind with that guy. Yes, I think that's a duty instance now too, right? Cause it's not a trial either. I couldn't find it in the trial list. Cape Wheat Wind, get your Wheaties. That makes me wonder if I have to go to like my unending journal and go back to that actual like quest line to see if it is a duty instance and try to replay it again. Not to mention I am doing New Game Plus and I'm still progressing my way through like the beginning portion of that. I think I'm on like part three, if I'm not mistaken. Part two or part three, one of the two. So if and when I get up to that point, I'll find out for myself. Nope, they're solo instances, maybe a New Game Plus. They did say they did some revisions to the questline into New Game Plus, so it's probably in there. Let's not forget Cape Oat Earth? What? Tempted to stream New Game Plus after I'm done with Tunic? I think it's worth it. A Realm Reborn is still, even with all the consolidation and where they cut out all the extra frou-frou stuff that you don't have to do anymore, like it's still kind of mundane. You know, it's the build up to the climax of the story. They're setting up the world, they're setting up the background, they're kind of giving your character a place and purpose in this society, in this community, and it's kind of mundane. You know, it's a little boring there in the beginning. Um, so it's not the best compared to the rest of the game. But it is super nostalgic to go back and do that story all over again, especially if you played it prior to the changes. Like if you're old school like me, where I started this game when it first came out. I was a beta tester. That's how long I've been with Final Fantasy 14. So to go back and play what the story is now versus what it was like, freaking, I know you are too, Koi. Versus what it was like over a decade ago. Big differences. Big differences. Old lady bedtime. All right, Silver, you get you some rest. Thank you for popping in. Thank you so much for also doing the rearranging and setting up for the event tonight. We super appreciate you, and honestly, I feel like you don't get told that enough. Also, with setting up for the event being mentioned, we're about 15 minutes out until we do start the treasure hunt event tonight. Make sure you're in the venue. Make sure you're stopping by prior to 10:30. Our club manager Takeshi is going to be giving out all the details, the rules, and everything for the event tonight, where you do have a chance to win 1 million gil in prizes. There is an entry fee of 50K just to basically get the raffle in order to get into the event, and that does give you the chance to win the 1 million. So definitely be sure to check in, talk with Takeshi, get your ticket so you can play that game tonight. No prob. I get to do Spar new. Yeah, Spar was actually telling me about that, where he was going to basically commission you to do his new house in Ishgard. I'm still working on getting my house. I lost my bid on the large I had in the Imperium, but you know what? Once they fix whatever bugs is going on with the lottery system and they open it back up after the 20th, I'll just put in another bid and we'll go from there. Hopefully I'll get a large before they all get sold out. Hoping and praying. If not in the Imperium, maybe in Lavender Beds, because I've seen a plot or two open up there too. You don't got that money? Look, it is not difficult to earn money in this game. Does it take a little bit of work? It does, as does most anything else. But honestly, if you can play the market boards a little bit, or if you just want to get like a slow, steady flow of income, send your retainers to go collect like crystals and shards and just sell those all the time on the market board. They don't sell for much, but they sell all the time. And that's a constant flow of money that you can just keep sending your retainers on ventures to collect those for you, bring them back, and then stick them on the market board. It is so easy to make money in this game. And over time, just let it collect. Don't spend it. Like leave the money in your retainer. Just let it build up over time, and eventually you'll get the money you need. Just realize you don't even care about getting a bigger house. I have multiple reasons for wanting to get a bigger house. One of the first and foremost reasons is because I do want to have those three available garden plots for our garden project that we've got going on with the free company in the Order of the Echo. We are constantly growing and collecting Thavnarian onions like all the time. So if I can open up my three gardens plus the three gardens we already have at the FC house, that's six gardens we got to work with, and that much more Thavnarian onions that we can pump out. On top of that, I also want to open up an art museum. I've got a medium house already, and it's filled with all sorts of paintings that I've collected from all over the realm in Eorzea, but I don't have enough room. There are more paintings available than what I have slots in that house. I need a large so I can put those paintings up on the wall. And then I can open up my own art museum in Eorzea. I don't think there's any other place that's like that. Not roleplay venue, not any other house. That's just specifically for the display of artwork and the paintings. There's no other place like that. So I want to open up a venue that is specifically an art museum just to put all those paintings on display. Oh, did they now? Now, do you know if they still have that place up and running with all the portraits and the paintings? Because I would love to see it, honestly. Because I haven't come across any other place like that. Oh, they ended up selling the plot. Oh man, that's sad. Cause I would have loved to seen another art museum. I got you, Drake. I got you. My tea's actually starting to get cold. Consume the tea. It's all about the tea. I need to bring back my tea time with Naka, so that way we can always start introducing what flavor of tea I got for the day. I will admit, one of the reasons why we haven't been doing it lately is because I've been kind of. I don't want to say I've been cheap. Maybe frugal is the better word to use here, the more professional, better sounding word. But I haven't been to the grocery store in a while. Mostly because of the fact that I am going to be moving soon. So for those of y'all who don't know, I'm going to be moving in with my partner. Yes, super excited. I'm actually going to have an office, a studio to work with instead of streaming and working from my bedroom like I do every day. So I'm super excited about that. Um, but I've been trying to like wear down the pantry and make sure I'm using like all the canned items we got, all the extra tea bags that we still have sitting up there. I've got green tea, black tea that I haven't used. We have all sorts of crazy spices in the cabinet we haven't even touched yet. So I'm trying to like burn my way through all of those before I actually go buy more food that at some point or another is going to have to come with me either way. So I've just been drinking straight up black tea with honey and lemon for like the past, what has it been, 4, 5, 6 weeks now? And I still have so much left over. He's been a strudel. I wish I was a strudel. My blood sugar would be sky high all the time if I was, though. I specifically only drink white tea. I get that. Like, I have to be careful with black tea because of the caffeine content. If I drink too much caffeine, it's gonna knock me out. My heart can't take it. But I have really, really fallen in love with tangerine herbal teas, especially by Yogi. It's called Positive Energy. So freaking good. I cannot get enough of it. And I get upset every time I go to buy more because they always only have like 2 to 3 boxes in stock, and that's it. Naga having caffeine with tea? No, never. And I actually do have breakfast tea up in the cabinet too. I have to be really careful with that stuff. Sir, you shouldn't even be looking for those. Takeshi pointed out to me that I shouldn't have said anything about the chicks earlier, and he's totally right. Y'all ain't supposed to know about that. Pretend I didn't say anything. Oh, Coit, that's right. Jeff's tea. Okay, okay. I gotta tell y'all this story because a bunch of y'all may not know about this. But back in the day when Echo was still like fresh, brand new, and we're talking about what was it, 2014, 2016, somewhere back then, before the COVID-19 pandemic. I can tell you that much for sure. But we had a British member of our organization, and everybody called her Jeff. Um, but me and her got to be really close, have become really good friends, and she sent me a care package all the way over from England. She lives over in England. Um, I don't remember the city specifically, but she's British to say the least. And she sent me just like candies and proper English tea and a recipe for like a croissants. Um, and just all sorts of goodies in this box. Well, I love the candies. I love the goodies. They were absolutely delicious. But the tea should have came with a warning label. I'm Southern, okay? I am specifically Southeast states. We drink a lot of sweet tea by the gallon, okay? We don't drink it by like 1 cup at a time. Hot tea. No, we drink gallons of iced sweet tea. So, in my head, when I'm thinking about preparing this proper English tea that she sent me, I'm thinking that I could drink this stuff by the cup and just enjoy it as I go. Let me tell y'all something. Jeff almost killed me and committed murder. Oh, hello, Planks. Yeah, and I'm not joking. I drank somewhere between 6 to 8 cups because it was absolutely delicious. I fixed it the way that she told me to prepare it. It was so freaking good that I just kept drinking 1 cup after the other, after the other, after the other. And by the time that I got somewhere between 6 to 8 cups, that's when it hit me. And that's when I realized I was probably in danger because my heart started racing so hard that I had to go lay down and just refuse to move at all because I felt like I was running a marathon while standing still or laying down. I felt like I was running a marathon. And I seriously thought my heart was going to give out that day. I had to call Jeff, like, after I finally recovered over the next 24 hours and be like, you almost committed homicide. Unintentionally, which would have been murder or manslaughter. But yeah, you almost caused me to die. Did not realize that a cup of English tea, their morning, like, breakfast tea, is the equivalent of, like, 2 to 3 cups of coffee in America. Strong black roast coffee on top of that. This man had the Noomies. Oh, he definitely had something. He was about to be cast doom, and I needed an Asuna stat because I was about to die. But yeah, almost died because of tea. 100%. Why is it playing this song? I thought I took this off the list. We're gonna skip that song. By the way, Naka just got the hiccups. But it is now 10:30 Eastern Time. We are getting ready to start the Easter treasure hunt. Takeshi is just about to announce the rules, the procedures, what you need to get started here. If you've not put in your ticket, go ahead and get your 50K ready in hand. Talk to Takeshi. Make sure you get your ticket to participate. The winner will be getting a million gil prize. So get in there while you can. Thrice Come Fury or whatever. Wait, are we still talking about the song? Oh, just the T. Yeah, it was the Epic Alexander is what it was in a cup. 100%. Almost died very strongly. This is such a good view of the chandelier. And honestly, that is actually not the first time I almost died from a caffeine overdose. Um, many moons ago, we're not going to say how many moons, but many moons ago, when I was a manager for McDonald's, this was when McDonald's just first got the McCafe machine, and we were having to learn how to operate and maintain the machine and basically just work it. Um, Back then, I did not know what an espresso was or how an espresso was made. I just knew it was supposed to be like extra strong coffee. And I didn't realize how much stronger it is for like ever so much amount. I came into work one morning. It was the sun wasn't even up yet. It was the crack wee hours of barely even the morning. And I was so dead tired. Like I almost fell asleep at the wheel driving to work that morning, so tired that I decided to get me a large coffee cup with like 6 to 8 shots of espresso in it. Child, I was the most happiest person on the face of the planet for the next 6 hours. People were looking at me like not even sure if I was okay or if I had been sniffing some booger sugar or something because I was just overly ecstatic with anybody and everybody I came across that day. However, and I'll never forget it, Naka went straight up to Nakasha and Zumi levels. Um, But after those 6 hours had passed, I remember somebody asking me to come to the back of the store. And somewhere between the front counter and like walking halfway through the production line, I passed out. Like, it was 0 to 100 flat with no acceleration period in between. I was just upright, still feeling great and all hyperactive. And the next thing I know, I was on the floor and unconscious. Um, when I finally came to and woke up, our janitor had, or maintenance man, I should say, rather, had like Princess picked me up and was carrying me to the break room to the back. And I had no idea what was going on. I'm just kind of looking around like, what happened? I completely lost consciousness and passed out because level 5 death, it really was. The timer ran out. I completely was out, gone, destroyed, and I was unable to function for the rest of the day. It was that bad. Oh, there's a kite. I see you. So yeah, those are the two times in history when caffeine almost caused me to die. Support glowies aren't here. Oh, no, Drake. There was no koi. It was an illusion. A hallucination. Why does my computer always want to go through updates when I'm streaming? Like, can you not? Brother, we must update. Actually, that's my computer 24/7, especially when it comes to the Windows updates. Because I feel like every time Windows tries to update something, it breaks everything else. And with me being somebody that works from home and uses like a VPN and a virtual desktop and all that stuff that requires like special internet connections and whatnot, it screws it up every time. Never fails. Without question. I have to like uninstall, reinstall, get firmware updates. It's ridiculous. So I try to avoid Windows updates at all costs unless it's absolutely necessary. Like it actually forced me to do one the other day because it was saying my computer was at a security risk. What does VPN stand for? A VPN is a virtual private network. VPNs are often used for people who do work from home to make sure that whatever information is passed back and forth over that VPN is safe and secure and hidden from the rest of like the internet and your network. People use VPNs to hide like their IP addresses so that way they can't be traced, or to make it look like they're in a different country than when they're actually located. So VPNs are really useful and helpful in a lot of situations. Sometimes they're used for not so helpful or legal situations. Um, and they can also help speed up your connection depending on what kind of connection you're trying to get. There are special VPNs out there that's supposed to actually help you have a better connection to gaming servers, like Final Fantasy XIV, for example. I think one of the most popular ones out there is like called Exit Lag, if I remember correctly. I don't have any sponsorship or partnership with them, but I think it's called like Exit Lag, like that. Not gonna lie, I get that UE brain from time to time. It happens. It happens. This is the reason why people call me pretty. Because I have a lot of. We don't like saying blonde because that's like classifying or generalizing people who are himbo bimbo moments. But I'm just pretty. I may not have all everything in like ducks in a row or quite figured out up here, but at least I'm pretty, right? The one I'm most familiar with is Nord. Oh yeah, Nord has a VPN as well. That's right. Because I think they also have antivirus protection, if I'm not mistaken. You actually really do. You are the same color of red as all the planks and the flooring. You are correct. By the way, the treasure hunt just started, so there's gonna be people running all over the house looking for chocobo chicks right now. Quite, I can see you on the planks over there. That's awesome. I'll just be standing here. Also, kind of as a bit of like a selfish, personal, shameless promotion, not even for me specifically, but I do also want to kind of make a shout out to my partner, Rafe Thornreath, because he's actually been picking up on healing in the game recently, and he's actually been quite nervous and terrified to take on healing. And because it is a stressful job to be the healer in the team, but he's actually taken to it quite well. And as nervous as he was for picking up the class, he's doing pretty phenomenal at it. He's usually the tank of the group, and also a very good DPS, especially if we're talking about physical ranged. But he's picking right up on healing strategies and different ways to heal people with the regen and the shield classes. Don't worry, I completely understand his anxiety. See, it's a little bit of a different perspective with me because I started off the game as a healer. My first class that I like seriously committed to was a conjurer. And it's not like Arcanist where you start off as a DPS class and then work your way into a healer like a Scholar does. You start off as a healer from level 1. So that is your job from the get-go, right out the gate. So that was how I got used to the game, was playing from the perspective of a healer. So me playing DPS or a tank was stressful to me. Full faith, if the man can be my co-tank, he can heal. Oh, definitely. And that also gives him the perspective of, what to look for from a tank as a healer. So that kind of gives him that predisposition to be good at healing because he's already played the other classes. And I feel the same way, like me trying to play a tank. Like, as a healer, I know what I want and expect out of my tank. So I try to play my tank from that perspective. My paladin has so much tenacity on it that I'm pretty sure any white mage would just absolutely love and adore my paladin. And then you picked up rogue. The ninja. Let me tell you something. Ninja in PvP is freaking overpowered, OP, and so deadly. I have been playing the crap out of some of that crystalline defense or whatever it's called, and or crystalline assault, one of the two. And ninjas will just tear me to pieces before I even know it. They just pop out of nowhere, do their LB, and I'm deleted. Sage is pretty strong in crystal, the crystalline. What is it called? Crystalline control? Is that what CC is supposed to stand for? I honestly, off the top of my head, cannot remember at the moment. But for somebody who has rarely ever played PvP in Final Fantasy, I've touched it. I've messed with it just a little bit here and there, especially when we're talking about front lines and rival wings. I played a few of those here and there throughout the ages. Oh my god, look at the small chicken. That is adorable. That was a big distraction. What was I talking about? I reversed the final push to victory with one button. It happens. I've seen it happen so many times. Like, the opposing team will literally be what feels like 2 yalms away from getting the crystal into the objective. And then whatever happens, they either get ambushed or there's like a limit break or two, or the tornado, especially the tornado. When the tornado just blasts them all sky high, and as soon as they fall, they all insta die. And then we can just push the crystal all the way from point Z back to the enemy side. It's crazy. Anything can happen during that fight, completely turn the tides in or against your favor. Oh, I just went to the away status. Let me fix that. I'm gonna have to stream some of my fights in Crystalline Control, because I really get into it. Like, I may have had my moments where I fussed or said something at a tank or DPS during a dungeon or whatever, or, may have had my exclamations that I've had during our raid nights, but y'all should really see me when I get into the PvP mode. I turn into a different creature altogether. If y'all have ever seen me play Overwatch, which I was only able to stream that for a little bit of time when my computer could handle it, yeah, that's my Overwatch mode. Sage LB literally negates all damage from sources that don't have lip afflicted? Hype afflicted? I haven't tried it. I wish I could queue with friends. Oh, I know, Coit. That's the one solitary thing I hate, especially about ranked matches in Crystalline Control, because you are so dependent on the synergy and the consistency of what your fellow teammates are that your solo individual contribution may sometimes not even matter. And it's so frustrating. And you can't even properly communicate with them. Like, you can't offer tips or strategies or say anything other than the quick chat options that it gives you through the PvP profile. So you're just, it's like being thrown to the wolves or up the creek without a paddle. Like, you're so limited when it comes to strategizing, and it's so frustrating. Now, the one thing you can do though is if you are able to get a group of 10 people, so you can have preformed parties to go into Crystalline Conflict, then you can set up your own custom match. All 10 of you can queue in, you can pick which map you want to be on, and y'all can fight each other 5 versus 5. But if you're doing any type of matchmaking system, you have to queue solo. Even if it's casual, you would think casual you would be able to queue up with friends or buddies, but nope, it doesn't. One time the entire game was just members of my FC. You know what? I could believe that. Nobody pushed, we just slapped each other. That is hilarious. Until the timer runs out and it goes into overtime, and then it kind of forces a winner at that point. But yeah, I've really been enjoying the new PvP, and with the milestones that they've got where you can earn like a new type of currency that's now available, and for y'all who don't know about this, I really want to make sure I point this out, because with the milestones, if you go to your PvP profile, there's a button there for crystal milestones. There are items such as emotes or new frames for your portrait for your adventurer card, for example, that you can earn by hitting those milestones. And they're just given to you so long as you play enough of the Crystalline Conflict. It is worth doing to get those free emotes. There's some fashion accessories in there. The different kits for your portrait, for your adventurer's card. Get them all. They're free. All you gotta do is just play the Crystalline Conflict. Gotta get the Dark Knight one. I don't I don't think there's like specific class gear that's available in the milestones. But there are like different portrait frames and little emblems and stuff and backgrounds that you can get for your portrait from the milestones. And or you can also buy stuff with the crystals that you get by upgrading your rank through the milestones. Oh, the portrait thing. Okay, yeah, yeah. Because it does allow you to do like backgrounds or special emblems for certain classes. You right, you right. This is another song that I thought I took off the list. Did my entire set reset itself? Is this what's going on here? Soundtracks, what have you done? You spindly sizzle? What? I may have missed the reference to that comment. Crizzle? What? I heard. I'm lost. I don't know. Did something happen? Like, did my audio go crazy? Or is this like the lyrics from the song? Because I was totally not paying attention to the specific words. You spin the crystal. Oh, did I just say it so fast it came out sizzle? I wouldn't be surprised. I get excited and words don't come out right. We making bacon pancakes. That actually sounds really good. I was talking to a friend this morning about pancakes. He was saying that he made made too much actually, but he made a whole batch of like chocolate chip and peanut butter pancakes, and they sounded so good. I want some now. No, I just spelt it in meme. Oh, okay. Was this supposed to be like a Snoop Dogg reference? We're gonna spin Le Crizzle instead of your shizzle? I don't know. I'm gonna stop before I make a fool of myself. And of course, just to make sure that I'm not doing or violating any type of like policies from the company I work for, I'm not going to say who I work for, but I can say that Snoop Dogg is actually one of the people that does advertisements for the company I work for, and the commercials are actually pretty funny. I really like them. I've been had. What do you mean you've been had? Did somebody find you, expose you for the ninja that you are? Oh, I need to renew our party finder. It's about to go down on me. Wow, Naka, you may want to rephrase that. Which, by the way, did Sharana ever show up tonight? I don't think I've seen or heard anything from her. Strawberry! I just saw that she waved at me. Pork. Now that you've said pork, I kind of have a craving for pork rinds now. It's something I haven't had in a long time. Or pork chops. Ooh, that sounds good too. Marinated with a thick brown gravy. Naka's hungry. And that's after I ate that huge Subway sandwich. Dry rub pork. That's also really good too. Especially like if you get the thick cut kind that's already like just juicy in and of itself without having to marinate it in anything. Those are so good. Speaking of Subway, though, I feel like everybody has that go-to sandwich that is just like their brand, their special sandwich that they get every time, or that's their default whenever they go to Subway. I know with mine, I always get the Italian BMT. It's got to be a foot long. Six is just too short. It's got to be Italian urban cheese with pepper jack, toasted, lettuce, tomato, onion, red onion, green peppers. Sometimes I may do cucumbers, sometimes I may not. Depends on my mood. Banana peppers, definitely. Um, Mustard, mayo, red wine vinegar, sweet onion sauce, salt and pepper, and oregano. Every time. That's my sandwich. Oh, I'm sorry. They got rid of sweet onion sauce. It's now sweet onion teriyaki. For some reason, they mix sweet onion and teriyaki together, which is still good. Pizza with lettuce, spinach, and ranch? Okay. When I saw lettuce at first, I thought you were talking about like a taco pizza, but no, that is definitely something entirely different. That's like a white sauce pizza that you're talking about. Which there's a white sauce chicken parmesan pizza that's really good. I think there's a DiGiorno brand that's just phenomenal, and I think Domino's has a version of it too that's also really good. Ooh, ow. Why does this lady in this song sound like Sophia? Don't like white sauce pizza? It's kind of a bit of an acquired taste. I will admit to that. My sub is literally pizza salad. Oh, okay. There's actually very little else that I've tried from Subway other than my go-to sandwich. Now, when Quiznos was really popular and they were kind of like up and coming, I got their everything. I think I probably had every combo they had on the menu. But when it comes to Subway, my Italian BMT all the way. I don't like the big Q. Oh, I loved it, but it had to be one of the Quiznos where they had the sauces on the kiosk where you could get little extra cups of it or just like put extra on your sandwich. Cuz they had a vinaigrette that I would just almost soak the entire sandwich in. It was like a balsamic vinaigrette. It was so good. But I'm also a huge fan of very like savory and tart sweet flavors. Um So like any sandwich that's especially like if it's on a very heavy wheat or rye bread that the vinaigrette will just soak right on up into, and it's maybe got like some type of um, poppy seed hollandaise sauce or something like that. Oh, I am making myself so hungry. I gotta stop talking about this. Now I wish there was a Skloshki's that was nearby or open even that I could go to. Oop, I missed my shout. Oh, sorry, Takeshi. I didn't mean to like intercept your shout there. My bad. Thugs, darling. Hello. Oh my gosh, coming in with a raid. Why didn't I get a sound alert for that? My stream's been acting funny lately. But how you doing, darling? Quite literally, darling. Doing all right. Game gave me too much anxiety, so I had to end. Oh, I'm so sorry. Was this during like a quest line, or what was it that you were doing? Oh wait, no, you were playing Outlast. Okay, Outlast 2. For some reason, I just automatically defaulted to Final Fantasy 14. Nothing else exists. The only game on this planet is Final Fantasy 14 when it comes to Naka. Yeah, I got you now. I got you. So you're playing Outlast 2. That's like a is that like a jump scare game? I know I've heard of it, but I don't know if I know what it actually is. Survival game. Okay. Oh, yeah, this definitely looks like a jump scare game. You know what? I don't blame you at all. I would probably have to take that in small doses myself. I I don't want to say that I scare easily because I am a very level-headed person. Especially like if I, ever got into an actual scary situation, I would be very calm, collected, and make sure that I'm and everybody else is okay first before I start freaking out. But when it comes to jump scare games or jump scare movies, I am so quick to just frickin' leap out of my chair. And if there's another person nearby, I'm either going to end up in their arms or in their lap, one or the other. And it's just going to be an involuntary action. It took it in one sitting. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. That is impressive. Especially considering probably how me and Fox react to it. Heck, I can barely even watch other people playing jump scare and horror games without me freaking out at the same time. Them freaking out just makes me freak out more. Yes, Drake, in laps. I kid you not. It has happened in movie theaters where somebody it was actually It with the first original It movie when they did the remake. The person I went with, I'm pretty sure I ended up in their lap. Or at least the next best thing too, because I was clinging to them like a leech. Oh, is my net? Oh, my network sure is. I had a couple of dropouts there. Yeah, y'all will have to forgive me. Every once in a blue moon, I am gonna have some dropped frames because of my network. Spectrum, and yes, I'm gonna call them out by name. Spectrum, there's a lot of things I can say about their service out here. And not exactly the most positive things I should mention. Yeah, and I know what the issue is because where I'm living right now, they're using a very old infrastructure with their connections. Like for those of y'all who remember Time Warner, which feels like was a decade ago, um, it's still the exact same network and infrastructure out here that Time Warner was using. When Spectrum took over, they didn't upgrade or renovate the system, the network, the infrastructure at all. They just used whatever was pre existing. We've already had to get them to run a temporary direct line to our residents. They didn't bury the line for 6 months. We actually had to call them back and be like, hey, y'all ever going to do anything with this? And then when they did come out to bury the line, they not only messed up the internet connection, but they also cut into the invisible fence for the dog that we've got here. So they ruined that, and I don't know what they've done to like compensate or fix that, but that happened. And now with the service that we have at the moment, like for the most part, it's pretty stable and okay. But every once in a while, like I can literally be watching my network connection and it will just sync completely, just cut out for 1 or 2 seconds and then come back online. And it'll do that multiple times intermittently. It's horrible. That's one of the reasons why I'm super glad that I'm going to be moving back into the city, because there is going to be a much better and much more reliable internet service in the city than what there is out here slightly in the sticks. Um, but yeah, it was my network. But we've had to call them so many times. I've had so many supervisors that I've had to speak to, that we've actually had come out visit the house. God only knows how many times they've had to credit the account. It's just one thing after the other. Oh, that was bad timing on that posture check because I just sat up straight. So we'll count that and just say it's retrospectively counted. You timed it well. But yeah, yeah. I'm it's still going to be Spectrum that we're going to be having service with once I do move back to the city, but it's going to be on a much better network. And plus it's also in a um what's the word, apartment complex, so it's going to be commercial branded Spectrum because it's provided by the complex, not a private source or service. So I'm super excited about that. Straighten more? What do you mean straighten more? I'm sitting up as straight as I can. When you saw me like do this number, that was me sitting up as straight as possible. Like even the back of my chair can't go any more forward than it already is. So I'm not slouching. I'm not even hardly leaning back. Like I'm sitting straight. And for as long as I worked at a call center, it's kind of like my default position. It's just sitting up straight. You're a white mage, right? Why you ask? Why do you ask? I'm concerned. Just cast straight into what? What? There's no such thing. Or is this like a Final Fantasy 11 reference? Is that an actual skill or spell in 11 or any other Final Fantasy for that matter? I'm being nosy. I want to see who this person is. Baron's chat. That's actually a very pretty aura. I'm not gonna lie. It's a funny. Oh, okay. I was just I was seriously racking my brains for a minute there. Like, is this a white mage skill? Like, is this an actual thing? Like, wait a second. I've only played barely a handful of Final Fantasies, which includes everything from 7, 8, 10, 10 2. I barely touched 11. Did not play 12, but I did play 13. All three parts of 13. Um, of course, 14 I play religiously, as y'all already well know. I did play 15, but I played like the original release of 15. I haven't done the DLCs, I haven't done the extended story, I haven't done anything extra they added in the game. I think the last time I even touched Final Fantasy 15 was when they had just added or were talking about adding like a multiplayer feature, which I don't even think that really fell through quite well if I remember correctly. You've only played 14. Even worse, I only started at the end of Stormblood. Now, at least with 14, it's not bad regardless of where you start because it takes you through the beginning of the story all the way to the end, no matter when you come into the game. The only difference is kind of just how the quality of life and the skill trees have been changed from day one to where we are now. Because, of course, so many things have been upgraded and optimized and enhanced with the interface, the skills, the classes. Um, a lot of the extra non relative storyline quests have been completely eradicated for good reason. The multiplayer was meh. It was like fake Monster Hunter. Yeah, I never got the chance to try that. So I wish I played during the Dark Age. You mean when it was like first released 2.0? It was rough. Okay, actually let me rephrase that. It wasn't necessarily rough. It it was what it was at the time. That's all there was and that's all we knew. So we played the game for what it was, but comparatively to what the game is now, to what the game was like back then, it was rough. It was hard to get, much harder to get experience or certain criteria met, or being able to find and locate certain things, which are so much easier to do now, especially when we're talking about like fates. Oh, you mean old school 14, the one that basically burned and crashed and literally was burnt to the ground because of the Dalaman moon coming crashing down, and they sunset the entire game with that epic cutscene of just shutting down the servers. Yeah, yeah. I was not. I'm not even sure if I should say fortunate because it was basically a BS of a game, but it was a learning lesson. It was a stepping stone for what 14 became. Of course, you can get the legacy tattoo and the special Goo Boo mount if you did have an account that you played Final Fantasy 1.0 on. Like one of my officers, Sarada, for example, he's actually a legacy character. He played 1.0. He's got the back tattoo and the mount. I would love to have that just for reasons of novelty. But I was the guy that waited and actually read like the reviews and the developer blogs and stuff about Final Fantasy 14 1.0. And after all the negative commentary it had at the time, I just decided against it. So I knew about it, I followed it, but I never played it. Serata, yes, sir. Serata actually played the original one. And 1.0 pulled a lot of systems and interface from 11, and it was basically trying to recreate the wheel in terms of an MMO. And because it was so unfamiliar and not user friendly, um, it kind of fell through. It was not worth the effort to learn how to play for people. Whereas when Yoshida was asked to pick up the game and revamp it and redo it completely for 2.0, like it was absolutely ingenious. He looked at other MMOs that were successful, World of Warcraft being one of them, because at the time that was the number one leading MMO during that day and age. And he basically took everything that they did right and was successful and people gave positive remarks and good commentary on, and he implemented that into the interface of Final Fantasy 14 2.0, or Realm Reborn. Um and literally fixed everything that was wrong with the original. I mean, the story was already good. It was a Final Fantasy game. Of course, the story and the RPG fact was good. It was the interface and the play style that made it so bad. Yeah, I play MMO almost exclusively, so I would have been like, I'll take five. Yeah, it was rough. It was definitely rough. So when Yoshida came along, revamped the interface, made it much more user friendly and much more familiar with what we're used to as gamers to seeing out of an MMO, it just perfectly packed it up in the package it should have originally been from the get go. And they've done nothing but improve upon it ever since. A Realm Reborn was like the trial run. It passed with amazing colors, and it's just been an upward path ever since. Which is absolutely mind blowing because considering that for every patch that they've done, minus Stormblood is like the redheaded stepchild we don't talk about. But for every patch that they've done, we've constantly been looking at Square Enix, and it's like, there's no way you can top that. There's no way that you can make this better. And then they blow us away with the next expansion. Just out of our freaking socks and shoes and completely out of the water. Which, why you're wearing socks and shoes in the water is probably a very concerning matter in the first place, but just saying. Stormblood was good, and it was definitely a pivotal turning point also for the story. There's no denying that, and I actually agree with you. It's my least favorite, but I don't dislike it, or I didn't hate it. I still enjoyed it. But out of all the expansions, it was my least favorite. Um, but it was still good. You know, I didn't find it as impactful as Heaven's Ward or as frickin' heart-rendering as Endwalker, for example, or, you know, mind-blowing as Shadowbringers, but it still was extremely pivotal and a progressive point in the story. My shoes and socks get befuddled. Gygalos is in the house. There he is, as he just walks right in front of the cam. We literally cannot compare to Endwalker. Oh my god. The emotional damage that I don't have that as a sound clip, but you know what? We're gonna do this. There you go. All the emotional damage that came out of Endwalker was not okay. It was a roller coaster, a thrill ride, a freaking danger drop, whatever you want to call it. Endwalker literally would stab your heart, mince it, dice it, chop it into tiny little pieces, stomp on it like it was trying to frickin' make wine from grapes as you just squish them between your toes type situation, put it back together with super glue and gold, put it back into your body, resuscitate you, and then repeat the process all over again just to watch you cry a little bit more. That was Endwalker. And even though, yes, it had the happy ending that we were all just desperately craving for, even though it felt like at every turn it was just one wisp away from never happening. When someone asked about Endwalker, Yoshi just smirked innocently. He knew. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. In every single interview that he was in, or in every time that he was doing any type of QA, he had that. He just would get that look on his face, like he just wanted to. What's that word that my partner said today? That is the perfect example of what Yoshi's expression was. Let me find that here again, because I even had to look it up in Google and be like, how the hell do you pronounce this word? But the definition of it was exactly what it should be. Where, oh, come on. Where was this word? Here it is, here it is. I'm gonna type it into Google again, because if I try to pronounce it, I'm gonna butcher it. We're even gonna pause the music so I can make sure that y'all can hear this clearly. That word. That word. Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. Whatever. Yeah. It literally means pleasure derived by someone from another person's misfortune. That was Yoshi P's expression. His Schadenfreude. Him deriving pleasure knowing over the fact that we were going to cry and be heartbroken and experience emotional damage. I think what hit me the hardest was in Mordona, realizing we've been there since it was rocks and tents. Oh my god, I know. I would talk about that so freaking often with new players, especially with people that I was kind of like walking through the story. And when they first get to Mordona, I would, every single time, I would tell them, I wish you could have seen this place before it was built up to this massive castle that it is now. This place used to be nothing but dirt and rocks with a couple of tents spread around here and there. I wish y'all could have seen this place grow from what it started off as. It was so awesome to be in that moment to and they did it to Idleshire as well because it was a server wide progression that took place. It wasn't like an instance like the Dolmen Enclave is. This was something that you would actually witness and experience as additional patches came out, was watching that city, that place, go from basically rags to riches and grow up with it, beside it. I like mentioning the hanging man in Idleshire every time. That poor man. That poor man. And he was in or at least somebody similar to him was also in Foundation as well. Or may still be. I don't know, because they still got construction going on in Foundation. But there's a hanging man there too. But that's also talking about one of my favorite things to do while in the game is just looking for those little Easter eggs where as you walk by or walk past NPCs, like non-targetable NPCs, just characters that are standing around that have no like title or nameplate above their head, and just watching little speech bubbles pop up as you get close to them and see what kind of conversations that they're having or comments that they make. It's really funny, some of the things that you find, or like even emotional with some of the stuff that comes out of their mouths. It's like talking to the Scions every time you get to a certain pivotal main story plot and just listening to the commentary that each one of them has to say before you go on to the next part of the quest. Just dudes talking. Yeah, some of them is just absolutely sh- uh, shooting the shit. Sometimes they're talking about nothing relevant to the game at all. Like, this soup is delicious. Like, I could have lived my life without knowing that you thought the soup was delicious. But thank you so much, sir, Mister. Ellison, sitting here in the middle of the firmament. I didn't need to know that. But it is entertaining, and it's a good way to pass the time too. Like, if you don't know what to do in the game, you're just bored and you're kind of wandering around, just walk around and eavesdrop on the NPC conversations. To be honest, I only listen to Urianger. That man needs to take a course on shorthand and how to speak in it, because he seriously takes two sentences and somehow makes it into 5 pages. Every time. Every time. Like, Urianger, I need you to somehow, some way, reduce your statements and your declaratives to 1 to 2 sentences and nothing more. And restrict those sentences to at least a maximum of 12 words. If not less. I don't speak Eorzean. Like, can you please talk common instead of the frickin' scholarly Charlatan that you are always presenting yourself to be? What I would kill for would for Y'shtola for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Be that inner child that she showed during this last patch content. I'm not going to say what she did, or what she said, or even why she said it. Especially for anybody that hasn't done the most recent main story content. But when she said what she did say in that particular moment in time, I died. As in, I almost jumped out of my chair from laughing and crying. Just imagine, try to picture Y'shtola, of all people, speaking Uwu. I repeat, Y'shtola speaking in Uwu. I would kill for just 5 minutes for her to stay. Oh, what? Uh-oh. What happened? Hang on, I gotta fix something real quick. Why in the world can I not find her name? There she is. Somebody was saying they couldn't post in one of our Discord channels, so I was trying to see if I could find out why. Pronounced aliveness? The act of being the opposite of alive? Okay, that's a new word for me. But yeah, you know, instead of disappearing into the Aether Stream like she loves to do. Like, can you please not risk your life to be saving everybody? Repeatedly? Over and over again, Y'shtola? Okay, thanks, bye. Just saying. Casting forbidden spells that could cost you your life. And in some cases, the lives of others. Listen, Yustola, choose. Ooh, I think I missed one of my shoutouts again. I did. I did. You can either be alive or dead. Pick one, please. Quit making us think you're one or the other. And never sure. Hang on, I gotta address this real quick. The camera's trying to deal with the shortness. It can't compensate. Hrothgar versus short people problems. And these camera angles, too. They're not exactly the best in the world. Oop, oop, oop. I'm hitting all sorts of wrong buttons. Not cause making mistakes. Your character is 4'6". Isn't that technically classified as dwarfism? I think at that point, dwarfism or midget, one of the two. I forget which one's supposed to be technically taller. I forget where the cutoff mark is. Midget, okay. I don't think I ever went to go look at the math to see how tall my Hrothgar is, but I know for a fact that my Hrothgar is as short as one Hrothgar can be. Hrothgar shortest height. Let's see if I can just Google it. Updated height range chart. Hrothgar. 6'5". So even as short as I can be, I am still 6'5". That's only if you ignore my lore. Are we talking about for your height? Because I know if I look at aura, let's see, we're specifically looking for female aura. Um, oh, you're right, because the shortest, when you actually do the math, the shortest a female aura can be is 4'9", specifically 4'9" and a half. The tallest a female aura can be is 5'2", 2.4. And then, of course, when we look at the male aura, they go from frickin' 6'8" to 7'1". Not even a Hrothgar can be that tall. The tallest Hrothgar is only 6'11", or really almost 7 foot even. There's actually not a huge difference between the shortest and tallest Hrothgar. It's only about a difference of 6 inches. Because you go from 6 foot 5.2 to 6 foot 11.8. So they're 6 foot something regardless. And then of course you get to Lalafels and they're like 2'10" versus 3'2". So tiny. Listen, I measured myself in Lalafell. No, Reddit. I do not want to log in. Thank you for trying. Too Lala tall. I mean, you were about right. What was it? 2 foot something or another? So that would be about right for 4'6" if you were saying that they were like 2'3". A Lala circle once accepted me into their ranks. I was very confused. I don't know why, but that reminds me when the Chibi Jades surrounded role players character. Um Zune, if I'm not mistaken. It was Zune that they did, but she was in Limsa Lominsa and the Chibi Jays were there at the fishing guild, not like in the regular Aetheryte Plaza, but in the Fishers Guild. They surrounded her and started like indoctrinating her into their group. It was actually pretty funny. Could you say they were all up in their Lala feels? I don't know how to process that. concern. Stairs. I was catching up on staffing chat there. We are actually coming up on 15 till midnight. Since we usually do close about that time, let me go ahead and start taking a look at who else is streaming tonight. So that way, when we are ready to close and wrap everything up, we can go ahead and know who we're going to be passing the torch on to. Naka's face just now looked like he was looking real hard for something. I was reading chat. Who is streaming tonight, though? Do, 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 do. Let's see. So I did come across another Primal Famfrit streamer, actually. His name is Chris8115. He is part of the Mafia free company, for any of y'all who are familiar with Mafia on our server. Right now, he's actually participating in a Lalafell wedding, because I'm watching him walk down the aisle right now. Or, not walk down the aisle, but he's participating in the wedding. And I think we're going to pass on the torch to him today. I've only seen one of his streams thus far. I actually just recently discovered him. But he seems pretty upbeat. And he's got a dry sense of humor that I really can appreciate and enjoy. So I think we're going to raid him today. He's already been streaming for about 4 hours. I think he does stream a little bit later on into the night as well. So we'll give him the benefit here. Oh my gosh, he's in Discord too with so many people. I can see his Discord channel and it's just streaming all the way down the left side of his screen. But yeah, since we are in the last 15 minutes, I am going to go ahead and start kind of getting everything together. Oh my gosh, the emoji explosion. I don't know why it does that every time I transition. Oh, I was sitting still for too long. Anywho, kind of getting back onto our regular streaming schedule, we're going to be looking at Monday night, getting back on track with the New Game Plus. I know it's been a few weeks since we've been able to pick back up on that and actually continue on with the story where we left off. So we will explosion. Yeah, right. So we're going to be picking back up on that Monday night. We're going to do some more New Game Plus, go back down memory lane, see some of the Realm Reborn content, see what's changed, what's not changed, what has been omitted entirely and deleted. So we'll be going through that. All right, we can stop the flashy lights now because you're kind of blinding me a little bit. Turn it down. Okay. Yeah, because it was washing my face out too. But as far as who we are rating here, again, his name is Chris8115. He is also on Primal Famfrit server in the Free Company Mafia. They just wrapped up with a wedding. They're all outside celebrating. Just be sure to give him a look-see here. Give him a follow if you can. If you're a subscriber to my channel, there's a raid command that we can use as we go into his channel here. If you are not, and just a follower of the channel, there is a command that you can use that will not let you kind of fumble around with emotes that may not be available. But thank y'all for coming out tonight. I had fun. Cannot wait to see y'all again Monday night when we go back into New Game Plus. And until then, take care.